We're alive. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Good day, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, wherever you are in this part of the world. As usual, my name is Sylvia Litana Robertson, your host for today. Unfortunately, my co-anchor, the actual host for the show, is unable to be with us today due to some family obligations, and we know how that goes, right? Family is always first where we're concerned. So, nonetheless, with or without him, the show must continue and we must share the information that we always look forward to hearing from our illustrious team. I do have my sister, Reverend Pam, on line with me. And guess what? We have a surprise guest who surprised us. We were not expecting.
No.
But she surprised us. And you see the smile on my face, right? I'm like a kid in a candy store. Well, I'm saying a surprise guest because she called in without even letting us know she was going to call in. And guess where she's calling from? She is calling from Freetown, Sierra Leone, West Africa, for those of you who don't know where Sierra Leone is, but no pun intended. Anyway, I'm very excited and very happy, and I will have her come on the show a little bit later. But right now, I just wanted to do talk to you a little bit about what's going on right now and the topic that we have today. Unfortunately, I don't do editorials. That's for the big man himself. He does all the editorials. All I do is anchor or latch onto those editorials. Once it's done with them, I pick and choose what I can use from his verbiage. I'm not as good as him, a journalist. Okay, now that one is a veteran journalist. Me, I'm just a small girl. Okay. But anyway, it's always such a pleasure to come into your homes again. And unfortunately, it's been a very sad week, or the sad 2 weeks now, coming on to 2 weeks, with regards to what's going on in the United States of America, especially in Minneapolis. I'm sure everybody knows what has been coming on. So, excuse me, what has been going on with the death of Mr. Floyd. I want him dignified as Mr. Floyd because he is and was a human being. The way he died, not even a dog in the United States would be treated like that. Not even any type of animal in the United States would be treated like that because Americans love pets. Americans love their dogs, but they treated a black man as if he was nothing. That foolish cop that had his knee on the neck, guess what? He's not the first racist. Let me make that very clear. Racism has been around for how many years? For as long as we can remember, 400 plus years. Was it 401 years now?
No. From the Bible,
from the biblical times. I was talking about just like in the U.S. so prevalently. Yes, from the Bible. Yes, let's go back a little bit and go biblical some. But this is what broke the camel's back. That knee on that neck, despite this man pleading and begging for his life, telling them, process slowly by slowly, telling them, I'm dying. I am dying. I can't breathe. My back hurts. My stomach hurts. I can't breathe. How many times did that man beg for, I cannot breathe? Oh my God, this makes me so angry. It makes me so angry every time I talk about it, I get teary-eyed. You know, that was somebody's father. That was somebody's son, somebody's husband, somebody's brother, uncle, and so forth. Somebody's grandpa. But look at how his life was snuffed out from him, just like that, snap of a finger, because a white man said so. A white man, a cop, decided, yes, it's time for me to finish you. And you know what's very interesting? I read somewhere and I listened to the interview of a nightclub that both him and that, I don't even want to mention that cop's name. I just call him the foolish cop because I don't want to mention his name. I'm not going to dignify this by mentioning his name. There was a little editorial that I read, as well as an interview that I saw from the boss where they were working at some nightclub in Minneapolis. And it appears Mr. Floyd was working inside the club and the white cop was working outside. And the picture that was depicted, Mr. Floyd was surrounded by, I think, maybe 5, 6, 10 white, young, beautiful, gorgeous, delicious, voluptuous young ladies that had surrounded him, and they made like a chain. You know, it was like a U chain like that, when he was in the middle. And then I think 4 ladies this way and 4 ladies that way, showing the love, or showing to say, we appreciate what this man is doing. Maybe Mr. Short Stuff, Mr. White Cop, doesn't have what it takes to have a woman or to satisfy women. So now there he goes, like it's being vengeful because he's got the women and I don't. To me, That's my opinion as Sylvia. It's not a world opinion. It's just my opinion. It looks like this man was just waiting for the opportunity. Revenge, revenge, revenge. Let me get you. But guess what? You didn't get him. You got yourself. You have ignited something that the world has never seen. You have ignited what we were not even looking forward to. But in a nutshell, I'm saying thank you to you. I'm saying thank you as Sylvia, because you have brought to light for the people what we should have been looking at all these years, which we put at the back of our minds like it doesn't exist. You've brought it back to us, so now it's time for us as Blacks to deal with it. I'm going to leave my short little editorial right there so I can introduce Reverend Pam and have Reverend Pam introduce our surprise guest. Reverend Pam.
Thank you so much, my beautiful sister. I mean, that hair tie, I don't know how you did it. I can't do that, you know. That is a touchdown. Evie, can you unmute yourself? But I don't know the video, the image you're referring to. I have that. I don't know how authentic it is because I've not heard it on the news.
I did. I did.
You heard it on the news?
The boss, the lady, the boss of the nightclub, yes, she came on, I don't know, was it one of the news channels? Yes, I caught it like halfway when she was talking.
Okay, I'm glad somebody sent it to me. We didn't share it on the forum because we had not vetted it. If that is true, then that is premeditated murder. It means that they had a past. He knew this guy.
Exactly.
And that's why he had his hands on his pocket, and he wanted. He even after he squeezed the life out of our brother, he was moving with so much aura, so much air, as if he just won a tournament.
Yeah, feeling like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He can only do that against a handcuffed brother, because if it was fist to fist, that brother will slap those and punch those demons of racism out of him. Anyway, thank you so much. Our main anchor Nia Song is not on. Last week on this show, you guys heard him announce that his wife, had COVID, and thank God, God answered our prayers. After 40 days, she was released. So he's actually, assisting her. Our family comes first. So we miss him dearly, and nobody can do the Torahs like him. But I was surprised when I zoomed in. I saw my sister from the days of John the Baptist. There were only 3 or 4 of us. Somebody better text Dr. Stella and let her know Evelyn is here. It was just 4 of us girls in the S2 class in high school. So I hope Dr. Stella is going to zoom in, because we're all classmates in a predominantly boys' high school.
Is she already back from church? I mean, do you know if Dr. Stella already left church? Because I know church usually delays or something.
No, I don't know, but she's going to join. But she'll be surprised to see Evie on this show. So I am going to hand over, on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I'm just too excited. It is like a sister to me. This was a wonderful surprise. She just made my day, because I've been crying for the past 2 weeks. I've been crying and praying.
No, we all have.
What happened to our brother and what was happening to our people. But I want to welcome Evie before I wait. But look at, there she goes. Oh my God, that's Dr. Stella zooming in. I didn't even have to call back. But Evie, please put your camera and your audio. Stella is on. Stella, please mute your phone.
Oh my God.
Evie,
I didn't want to put my camera.
Why not?
I didn't want to put my camera.
There you go. Go ahead, Evie. We can see you. Oh, yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Stella, can you believe who is on this show?
Hi, Stella.
Wait. You are muted. You are muted. Stay. Do you recognize that person?
Wait, I can't see. Hold on.
Oh my God, you better see. This is
driving.
Wait now, let me video.
I'm not gonna tell you who.
Sorry,
Yeah,
my people, forgive me. I need my fan. You know, I have my own personal summers sometimes. Okay, so it's
Very
a ceiling
funny.
fan.
Say you're muted. Evie, go ahead.
Yeah, it's Evelyn. Yeah, you want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, introduce yourself. Yes.
Okay, all right. My name is Evelyn Mafeni.
you know, my funny.
Yes,
Uh,
Evelyn Mafeni Array. I work for K International. I'm the program director.
I met somebody that knew. There you go. Hey, girl, what's up?
oh my God. Sister Cynthia,
Look, they've taken over the show.
surprise.
They've taken over the show.
Surprise!
Surprise, surprise. I know my
Yes, today I decided to join. I planned it this evening. I said, no, let me stay up and join.
Awesome.
my CC. How are you?
Oh
I'm
Lord.
fine. I'm doing well.
Okay, let's not hijack the show. We will do our
I
own
know.
stuff.
Can we do a
Let's
nice
do another one. So my name is Evelyn Mafeni. I am now based in Freetown, Sierra Leone. I work for Care International as the program director. In the last few years, I've been working in East and West African. I've been in Sierra Leone. Now, this is my 4th year, and I think I'll be here for a while, maybe next year, till next year.
Awesome.
So, but I worked in Cameroon before. I've been in the humanitarian service for 12 years. I worked in Cameroon before for 18 years as a physics teacher.
Amen.
Welcome. Fantastic achievement. Welcome, my sister.
Thank you.
Surprising, Reverend Pam. I haven't seen this, Reverend Pam this giddy ever since. I mean, she's just all over the
I
place.
know because
I know. Oh my God.
And I hear Dr.
we're in the
Stella.
same room. We
And
were
I
in the
see
same
Dr.
dormitory.
Yes, and we're in the same hostel. We were so stubborn.
Yes.
Oh my God, we were so stubborn. The guys were scared of us.
It's a reunion. It's a wonderful thing.
No, we have to do our own Zoom. Stay and even we're going to Zoom after this. Let's not hijack the show. Sister Cynthia, go ahead. Let's go on with the show.
Okay, all right. We can proceed. We'll do our own Zoom.
Yes, you should. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for accepting me into it. I tried to Zoom today. Thank you.
Dr. Stella,
Thank
welcome to the show. And Evelyn, welcome to the show. Reverend Pam, like I said earlier on, welcome to the show. And our topic for today is racism against and among Africans and African Americans and African diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, anybody Black, anybody with this color like me. Melanin, yes, anybody with this melanin. So I just briefly opened up with a lot of anger and emotion in me. So now I've calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I guess I can speak sensibly now and with a little bit of respect to, those that are out there. But, as a mother and as a grandmother, it's very painful, to see what we all saw, what the world has seen, what the world at large has seen. It's not only one person. Just because he's an American does not mean that the Africans don't care. We do care. By the way, Ghana did a memorial service at I think the exact time or maybe comparable time to the time he was being laid to rest.
Awesome.
They put his name on what they call the Sankofa wall. A Sankofa wall is a wall in Ghana where they believe that when you die, when they put your name there, your spirit, in other words, is brought home or taken back home, something like that. That's what I understood. I could be wrong. The Ghanaians can correct me, but this was my understanding. And then at the same token, the memorial service was held at the Du Bois Center, which is a very famous center in Accra, Ghana. Yeah. And the African American ambassador was there, and some, I think, embassy dignitaries. Awesome. I can't remember all their names, but I'll share the video with you, Reverend Pam, once we're done here. I should have done that earlier. Yeah. I was looking at it just before the show. Yeah, somebody sent it to me. So, but anyway, it was a very beautiful memorial, and quite a few people turned out for this memorial, and a lot of I believe the ambassador spoke, and quite a few dignitaries, including the Minister of Tourism, I believe, of Ghana. She's female. She also spoke. Don't ask me to mention names because I'll lie to you. I'm very bad. Yes. So nonetheless, this is because somebody had posed a question, I believe, on one of the forums that I belong to. That I think she is an African American. Yes. She said, how come is it that when Floyd was killed, the Africans in the continent didn't do anything? That's not true. That is not true, because there are a lot of African countries right now speaking, protesting, peaceful protesting in collaboration with some of us here, some of us diasporians.
Yeah.
Just because you're not seeing it on TV does not mean that it's not there. You know how the media is.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to report anything positive about Africa. It's always got to be something negative. Then they all blast it out there. But trust me and believe me, I am a diasporian leader, so I know what I'm talking about. So please don't think that the Africans are not with us. They are, because we are African. And we will support one another no matter what circumstances are. We have cried out, Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter. You look at what the mayor did in DC, Washington, DC.
Awesome.
She boldly took the bull by his horns and she wrote Black Lives Matter. She named that road right in front of the White House, Black Lives Matter road. Now, Donald Trump is going to be saying, I'm going home to Black Lives Matter road. Meet me at Black Lives Matter road. Can you believe that? It's a wonderful feat. It's a beautiful, beautiful achievement. However, we need to also remember and recognize that as we mourn, we cannot and absolutely cannot instigate violence. That's a no-no.
We can't destroy our neighborhoods.
The purpose. We are defeating the purpose of what his death has meant to most of us. If we protest quietly, we protest in a good manner where we get our message across or our emotions and our feelings across. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But let's stop looting. Let's stop burning down cars, burning down buildings. Okay, let me ask you,
and destroying our neighborhoods, our own neighborhoods.
What have we achieved by destroying our own neighborhoods? Where are we going to shop? Where are we going to work? Because those are our workplaces that we all go to work every morning, or is it every evening, depending on what shift you work? Come on, my brothers and sisters. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I'm pleading with you. Let's stop all this looting. Let's stop all the burning. Let's stop all the fighting and shooting and stabbing. It's not part of this. This is not what Mr. Floyd died for. And I don't think any of us are happy, even those that have done this. I hope you guys are more regretful for what you have done. Because Mr. Floyd has died for a good purpose. He has brought the world together, brought the world on its feet. Not even coronavirus has put us down. We were coronavirus, yes, before his death, but now look at us. We forget even corona exists. We're together, we're in one crowd, we're all talking, we're all crying, we're all mourning. So my people, my Black people, let's use our common sense and let's do the right thing. Let's mourn with dignity. Let's dignify Mr. Floyd's death. We're doing the right thing. If we want to be heard, let's also conform to the laws of our lands, wherever we are in the world. Don't get out of hand to where now also they'll put their knee on your neck and say you were resisting arrest or you were doing A, B, and C. Don't do it. Don't give them that chance. Don't give them that satisfaction. We have lost enough of our Black men and women. There are too many of them to remember, but you guys know who they are. So with that said and done, I would like to have our sister Evelyn weigh in on her thoughts on this topic that we're talking about, which is racism. And then thereafter have Dr. Stella Emmanuel, also come on, and then I have Reverend Pam as well. So Sister Evelyn, please go ahead.
Thank you, my sister. I think from my end as an African living in Africa, we've been having conversation with many of my peers and we strongly, we are with you because it affects us. We have brothers and sisters in America and everywhere, and anything which is racism, it's a problem because we also think that although it's loud in America, it's not only in America. We are experiencing racism all over in many countries in the world. And we were talking, many of my colleagues were saying that the racism in America is so institutionalized, and phrases such as people of color is racist, Black American is racist, African American. When do we ever hear European American? Whereas there are many Europeans who are now Americans. So we keep asking ourselves, so when our sisters and brothers are American, they're already American, they should be called Americans, not African Americans, not Black Americans. This, we believe that, we think that this language is racist already. And that's the language in which your politicians are using, the journalists are using, the lawmakers are using it, and we think that is already racist. So we're talking about this a lot, and we believe the language in America is itself racist. in spite of the other things that are happening in the society.
Yeah, thank you
Joya,
very much,
with you,
James.
I heard in the news that there were a few people who guys who went to the American embassy, but I don't have evidence. I only heard in the news since I didn't go out. I've not been out for 3 weeks. For 3 weeks, I go after 2-3 weeks to do some shopping. So I've really not been out, but I heard they were out there, and I haven't seen the images yet. But in Africa, they're supporting the cause. In Kenya, they were protests. I know
Yes.
Kenya organized their protests. It's always happening in Kenya. So we are with you people. We know it's louder now than before. When you look at history, we think of 1921, 1920, and in between 1920, 21 to 2000, 2020, there's so many things have happened, but this is really the time. And we can see that there's a support all over the world, and we stand with you. We stand with you as well. Even at my workplace, our CEO is an American. She has written strongly on racism, trying to encourage us, Africans, to say that they are also with us and they will do everything to change systems, even within my organization, within CARE. Because it's not only in America, because an American organization, those systems, these things affect all the systems. So they have promised to make changes, within the organization so that some of these things do not reflect anymore in the organization.
Excellent. That's an excellent statement that you have made, and it's a very welcome. Very welcome. This is what we're looking for. We need to start looking and experiencing for a positive change towards this race. It's gonna end someday. It cannot be perpetual. This is not our birthright. No, not at all. We don't agree with that. So, with your company doing what they're doing, at least one step at a time, we will somewhere. Thank you so much, and thank your organization or your boss to say that step that they're taking is an excellent step, and we appreciate it. Dr. Stella, please.
Yeah. Number one, point of correction, Sister Miss Evelyn. America, they actually call Chinese American, Hispanic Americans, and that's actually kind of something we use around here. It's not just limited to Black Americans. We also use Chinese Americans, Japanese Americans, Italian. We have, that's kind of something we use because I think because we're so diverse in America. So we kind of, Cameroonian Americans. So, but I wrote something on Facebook about the plight of the Black American. And of course, I'm totally against violence and totally against these other entities ranging from all kinds of fringe groups hijacking the protests and using it for their own destruction and looting and everything. I know some African Americans are there looting too, but I think that the people that are actually causing the violence are just really a fringe group that are using this situation or using that particular situation to bring anarchy. And I just think that we do not anarchy is not good. It doesn't help any city, it doesn't help any nation, and at the end of the day, it destroys the cause of the African Americans. So, there's something that I've been I'm putting this together as an article because I really want to gather it and put it together, share it on Facebook, and let's have conversation. I still believe that peaceful protesting is good, but I believe that a lot more stuff will be done with town hall meetings and on our knees praying, because you cannot legislate the character of a person. You cannot legislate love. You cannot legislate somebody's heart. So I believe that part of this healing that has to come into our land, we have to also go back into praying and asking God to show us the way to love and care about each other and regard each other and be able to bring healing to the land. Because part of what is going on, racism is also part of the depravity of our society, and it's coming out even further. And then I want to touch and mention on, I had a colleague on one of our groups. We have a conservative group of doctors, and she said that even though she's Republican, she said something. She said she lives in the Woodlands. She lives in one of the ritzy neighborhoods in Houston, and she said that if her son came out partying, playing around, and maybe toilet papering people's houses like children do in their high school, she always tells them, don't do that, because if somebody calls the police and you take off running, they're going to treat you differently than the other white kids. They're not going to look at you the way like, oh, these are just playing. Yeah. They're going to, so when she said that, a lot of the white people on the group were like, you know what, we're so sorry you have to say that to your child. We're so sorry. And okay, they were apologizing. In fact, one of the things I said, guys, you know, white people, right now, black people are angry, white people are guilty. Please don't feel guilty and go maybe adopt a black child to feel better. That's not what we
I love that.
you understand? You understand what I'm saying? Because right now, a lot of white people are saying, oh, I'm sorry. People are testing, oh, Dr. Stella, well, what can we do to show that we're feeling? Let's knock it off. You understand what I'm saying?
Get on your knees and pray.
That's not what we need to do. What we need to do, we need to go back and see the root cause of some of the things that are in the black community. Number one, do black men commit more crimes in America by population-wise? Yes, they do.
They do.
And that is why sometimes police people react that way towards black people. But are black children born with crime in their blood? No. What makes it in a situation that our society or the people of color are the people that commit some of these crimes that are senseless? Like they used to say, there used to be a saying that when a black person steals, they steal to eat. When a white person steals, they steal because they're evil. Something. But you know, there's something that is, there's a fundamental, there's a root to some of these things that are happening. And right now, black people can riot on the street and get white people to kneel down and beg for mercy, but that is not going to help anything. In fact, it's just going to get resentful and they'll find other ways to deal with you. But we need to go back to the root of why some of these things are happening. And I can bring a few things and I can go back history, you know, past slavery, past segregation, you know, and then look at some of the things that were done after slavery, some of the things that were done in the black community that has brought the black community to where it is, where a lot of our black youths are in a place of disadvantage. And I would say, number one, the first thing I'll talk about is taking the black man out of the home. Right now, if we go in our society, at least if you go among white families, at least 60–70% of them grow up in a two-parent household.
Yes.
But among black families, less than maybe just 30% of black families grow up. I'm not giving you exact numbers. Very few, or maybe just 30% or less than that of black people, black children grow up in a two-parent household. That by itself is already a disadvantage. The second thing that has happened is that our black family structure was destroyed. You know, number one, the one thing, and this is the things that have to be reversed to fix this. Number one, they took the father out of the house first of all, they gave black women jobs and then they don't give black men jobs. So most of the time, black women have more jobs, black men have more opportunities. When they talk about higher minority, they go for black women. So they empower the black women and then emasculate the black man. When the black man does not have a job, he does not feel like he's a breadwinner. He ends up on the streets trying to make things work. And he also destroys the black family structure. That's number one. Number two, the welfare system has been one of the biggest slaveries in our country. I've run a pediatric clinic in Alexandria for over 18 years, seeing mostly 99.99% patients I saw were Medicaid patients, poor people. And this is the if you're poor, if you have two children, they give you a house, they give you a welfare check, they give you food stamps, they give you everything. But guess what? For you to get those things from the government, a man cannot be in the house. Because if a man is in the house, you don't get those things. So what do our black women do? They have 2, 3, 4 children with 2, 3, 4 different baby daddies. And then they actually have all these services from the government. And then they kick the man out. So what happens now is that these children are growing without a family, without a father figure. Number three, there was a law that was passed in the days of Bill Clinton, calling black African Americans super predators. If they were caught with smoking a joint, they were locked up and the key thrown away. They were given stronger sentences, longer sentences. And these people have been in the prison cell for decades. In fact, it is the First Step Act that was done by this administration that has brought a lot of black people that were locked up in jail for flimsy crimes. When our black men are in jail, our black families are tore up. And now go and talk about the church. It used to be the church was the bedrock of building the family. But the church also got polluted, got carried away, and got bribed in a way that the church no more became the bedrock of building the society. Our black churches were the bedrock of taking the soul of America back to when Martin Luther King the black church in particular, if you look at the history of the black church in America, the black church was the one that pulled America's soul back together. But the black church right now has been bribed, it has been hoodwinked, and right now they have big mega churches that are only interested in building money, hanging out with Hollywood, and they are not interested in the community, in building back the community structure.
Alice, that's true.
These are some of the things that are keeping the black people down. And then, of course, look at our inner cities. A lot of the inner cities, and and for full disclosure, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative. You understand? I believe in small government. I believe in teach me how to fish. Don't give me fish. You understand? I believe in, let me work for myself and make something for myself. Most of our black cities have been run down. They have not put services in these black cities to give these children something to do. Sometimes a man's dignity demands that they have a job. They're able to take care of themselves. They're able to take care of their family. One more thing that was taken out of the black community, if you go and look back, it used to be when they came and after segregation, the black community education they gave education that had skill sets. They did not just go to school and learn English and mathematics and go to university and learn business administration or something. They taught trades. So our young people came out of school with trades. They were carpenters. If you did not feel like going to school and getting all that school thing, you were not kind of lost in the midst of education. You could go to a 2-year college or 1-year training program, and you were a plumber, you were a carpenter. And these things gave them skills that they were able to work and take care of their families.
Technical schools, yes.
So yes, technical school was the hallmark of the education in our country. They have taken out the technical school education out of our educational system, and they're busy teaching us a whole bunch of grammar that does not add up to anything to most people. So these are some things. And then, of course, if they want to fix this, if the white people that are kneeling down right now truly want to fix this, go back and fix these black communities. Put back technical education in our communities. Go back and put back situations where welfare to workfare. You cannot just sit on welfare and have 15 children. Put a situation where and this is the crazy part. If you have 4 children, you're on welfare, you get money, you get food stamps. Let me tell you, if you go and get a job where you earn $12 an hour, they take away all those things. The $12 an hour job cannot pay for medical insurance, cannot buy food for your children. So at the end of the day, there is no midway between these people being able to get off welfare and get into workfare. And now we have, and I know because I saw them, we have grandmothers that spend their whole life taking Medicaid and food stamps and everything for their 3-4 children. And then those 3-4 children, they grow up, they turn 18, they turn 20, they cut off those welfare checks. And then we now have black women in their 50s with no skills. They're lost. They don't know what to do. They spend their whole life on welfare, which is so they should go back and reform these systems. Make sure that, there are more white people on welfare. I'm not saying that, but this it does not affect their community like it affects our community. So they should go back and reform these things and give people welfare to workfare. Give people the skills. When you're taking welfare, give them skills. Let them go to school and learn and get something and then allow them the ability to go from being on welfare and to work and still be able to get the help it takes for you to step up to the next level.
Thank you so much.
Education. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even then, get back to community activity. It used to be in those days, they had community activity that involved churches, involved all kinds of organizations, and these people were like the front line in keeping the community safe. Right now, they've dismantled all that stuff. They are not funding all these things. And then they are now aligning the situation that when somebody calls on, when somebody cries out in the community, they send a whole bunch of white people or a whole bunch of people that are from a totally different neighborhood that don't have any investment in the neighborhood where they are going to go police. So these are some of the things. So we have to go back. Like I said, it's good to be on the streets, but it's time for conversation. If the white people that are kneeling want to help, they have to help. They have to come back and say, let's go back to the root of why this community has been torn apart. No black child is born from the stomach to be a thief or to be somebody that is going to, you understand? Nobody's born like that. We have to go back and deal with the root of why our community has been torn apart and fix it from that root. And I will tell you, even right now, if you go, a lot of our black children population control in our Black communities, do you know that even though the Democrats, there are people, the left is going about, oh yeah, we want Black Lives Matter, how about the Black children that are murdered every day in abortion clinics that are located in this poor neighborhoods, but not located in the suburbs?
That's for another time.
Most of those Planned Parenthood abortion clinics, they are conveniently located in Black communities, in Hispanic communities, in low-income communities. They are not located in the neighborhoods. And then, of course, now, the last thing I'll talk about is that all the drugs and the guns that are in the Black community, how did they get there? Do these people have enough money to go to Mexico and carry drugs? No. How did drugs get into our communities? Those things have to be addressed from the root. And us Black people have to also take a responsibility for their destiny. And if you decide that we have to grow up as a people, as a race, as a nation, grow up and be taken seriously, we have to decide to take ourselves seriously. And I will ask, Black lives matter. Does Black lives matter only when they are killed by a white person? How about Black on Black crime? We need to stop as a society and say, you know what? This is our society. We are going to build it for ourselves. Yes, other people can help us. Look at Chinese Americans that come to this country. They build their communities. Look at Japanese Americans. They build their communities. Look at even Hispanic Americans build their communities. It is time for Black America to start building our communities and don't fight with each other. And start demanding. And then last, another thing. I don't care. Like I say, I'm a conservative. But if Donald Trump wants the Black vote, he has to earn it. If Joe Biden wants the Black vote, they have to earn it. They have to show us how they're going to make our communities better. Not come every 4 years and talk, and then leave us alone. Everybody, we have to get to a place where, as African Americans, we got to stand up and demand that they earn our vote, earn our support, and what are you going to do for us? And then we watch you do it. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much.
That was more like $2 million, not 2 cents. But
Reverend Pam, your views, please.
Yes. Before I give my views, I want to mention some things, comment on some things Dr. Stella said. We also have Sister Judith on the line. So after me, let's give her a chance, to weigh in. Dr. Stella, I feel your passion, but I want to differ with you on a couple of things. Black people don't commit more crimes than whites.
No, percentage-wise, not just.
No, just hear me. Yeah, hold on. The reason why I'm saying this is because when you go to the prisons, there are more. Let's just take drug offense. We all know that the people that bring the drugs into this country are not Black people.
Black people, of course.
And the people that use it the most are not Blacks.
You said that.
That the little Black kid on the block that is selling it is the one that gets caught. Who is he selling it for? He might be selling it for another brother who is working for a non-Black person. I'm not here to bash white people. I mean, some of the closest friends I have are white people. But what I'm saying is that, so I just wanted to make sure that was out there. As far as the churches go, the churches have never taken care of us. Let me tell you, the churches are the most segregated places in this country, more than schools. Today is Sunday, right? Like before COVID, you go to a church, it's either all Black or all white or all Hispanic or whatever. Very few churches are diverse. Which God are they praying to? And where was the church during slave trade? Where was the church? Did they come with the Bible? They had the Bible in one hand, and they had the gun in the other hand. So I don't really want to go too much into it, but the churches, believe me, I'm so glad. One of the good things that came out of coronavirus is I delivered some people from churches. I am not interested in the four walls of the church. The church is not in a building. In Mark 16:50, it says, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. So church folks are some of the most dangerous people on earth. I'm not saying all. So let's just forget about churches. The Black churches, yes, a lot of the Black churches in the past were a sanctuary for our people. However, there are few of them that have gone into Hollywood or whatever. You're talking about the ones here. What about church is a business, especially on the continent? We've read, that's why I said that's even a topic for another day, because if we want to go into this church thing, As a matter of fact, I'm working on a book called Church Folks, and I'll get that book out. So there's a lot to be told about that, and about our people, you know, getting fish instead of being taught how to fish. Let's remember, and please, I want to plead to all my African brothers and sisters. Let's stop calling our brothers and sisters Akata. That's not their names.
Of course,
you are right. It is discrimination. It's prejudice.
It's disgusting.
Stop it. Okay.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, we're talking about this thing. A lot of us got our independence around the same time that the slaves were set free here. So it's not like they've been set free for more years than us. We need to really appreciate our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Think about a mother being separated from a child. Mama Africa was separated from her children. All our brothers and sisters in the diaspora were separated from their mother. What happened? Some people think that those of us who grew up in the continent, we had it better than those of them here. No, we are all hurting. When you separate a child from a mother, the mother hurts and the child hurts. It doesn't matter if they were deceived or they were sold. We open the door. That's the truth. We open the door for the foreigners to come in and take our brothers. I don't care whether they lied, whether it was job or whatever, we open the door. And today, our leaders, our presidents are still opening the doors for the Chinese people, for the Russians, for the Americans, for the Europeans to come and steal our land. They're selling everything. What's going to happen to our children and their generation? So I just wanted to mention that. But let me come back now to the topic. I wanted to make those comments on that. By the way, we have a special guest, Dr. Gebi Jinibot. He has a book too. So after Sister Judith, we're going to give him some time. You know, I actually thought he was still on the forum, so he didn't get the thing on time. But anyway, Dr. Gebi, you're welcome. So this thing about racism goes all the way back in the biblical times. Some of you, most of you know that Moses married a black woman, an African woman to be exact. Moses was married, and all of you out there who don't know, and you go to church, Moses was married to an Ethiopian woman. Ethiopia is in Africa. What happened? You know, I'm not here to preach, but if you go to the book of Numbers, chapter 12 from verse 1, you see Miriam and Aaron, those were Moses' siblings. They criticized Moses for marrying. They said they were doubting that God spoke to him, that how can God allow him to marry a black woman? And what did God do? He struck Miriam with leprosy. Wouldn't it be nice if all these racist people became leopards for at least 14 days or 7 days?
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
No, racism will stop. You know, we talk about racism, people getting confused with different things. Of course. Yeah. But there's a power play. Okay, Sister Stella was talking about our people. When they set the slaves free, they didn't empower them. They didn't give them any tools. You just set them free. Yeah. Free to do
Absolutely.
what? Free to do what? And I can tell you, most of our brothers and sisters on welfare or on Medicaid don't want to be there. They want to have a job, especially the men. And the oppressors of the white man, they were so threatened by black men. They humiliated them in front of their children, in front of their wives, even raping their wives in front of them, killing some of them, just dehumanizing them. You know, even when you go to school, you know, even community college, you will see there are more black sisters in school than the brothers. It goes all the way back, like you said, to the root. But I would say the root of it is the heart of man, which is desperately wicked. And God said he made us in his own image and his likeness. That's in Genesis 1:26. He made us in his image and likeness. And in Acts 17:26, he put all of us on this earth to dwell in different habitats as one. We all bleed red. So where is all this coming from? The heart of man. But it goes back to this racism thing is a systemic thing. When people discriminate against you, when people are prejudiced because against you, when people have negative emotions about you, not for any other reason, but for the fact that they think they are superior, they are of a superior race than you, that's racism. That's racism. On the forum, people were talking about different things. Oh, my dad doesn't want me to marry from here. That's not racism. That's discrimination and prejudice. Racism is a systemic thing. You have to have power over these people. The reason why these police people can be racist or kill our people is because of power. They have a gun, they have a badge. You see what I'm saying? If that guy, that killer, that murderer, I'm not going to call him a police officer because I am a child. My dad was a police chief and a prosecutor. So I grew up respecting police people. He does not represent police people, not in this country, not anywhere in the globe. He is a demon. The reason, if they were to put him in a ring, if they were to put him in a ring with our brother, Mr. George Floyd, our brother, and like I said earlier in the show, would have boxed and whipped that demon of racism out of him. And he would have been begging for his life. So he could do that, and to see the way he was so nonchalant. I don't understand. This guy is not a human being. People are wondering why there's outcry.
I said that he's not human.
Hold on. I was so disappointed yesterday on CNN. One of our brothers came and tried to say, I think it was a slip of a tongue, or he misspoke, saying that, oh, there are so many people out because people have been locked down. No way. These people are risking their lives. They are risking their lives. They are risking their lives to come out in this pandemic because they are fed up. They are angry. They are mad. They are vexed. They are grieved. Any human being that saw that video and did not weep or did not cry need to get on their knees and ask God for forgiveness. It means that their conscience is dead. Their conscience has been seared with iron. There is no way any human being will watch that video. And that video, look, what the devil, this guy thought he was killing this guy. He has exposed this thing in undeniable terms. This has been happening from the days of slavery. It's been happening. This is not the first time. And this guy is a repeat offender. That's why he could squeeze the life out of this guy, take his breath away, and walk away. And he was doing that with his hands in his pocket, which means that he was not threatened in any way. And our brother was actually driving a Mercedes. So for $20, I don't even think, who makes a $20 counterfeit bill? He probably got the counterfeit not even knowing, and then you squeeze the breath out of him. That is wrong. So and one of the things, look, we Africans and African Americans, we need to start liking each other and working together. Some of you attended our event last year, Africa's Brain Bank. Our motto is collaboration, development, and service. We need to work together to develop and serve Africa and Africans. But I will tell you this, our people don't. Just even right from that event, people started trying to mimic some of the things we were trying to do. Some of them have tried to go copy things. Some people have even used our backdrop, promoting it on Facebook, blurring our back. And that is a demon that's got to go.
Yeah.
A jealousy, rivalry. If you don't want to support, why must you go and try to copy? It doesn't work. Copycat does not work. Everything we do is organic. You cannot carry somebody else's vision. I cannot tell you how many people are trying to echo some of the things that we were trying to do. But the Africa's Brain Bank is for everybody. Even this Africa Online. We need all Africans to come online. It's a sister organization, but with different visions and different mandates. When we started Africa Online, Nkemleke is here. He was one of the pioneer members. As a matter of fact, his name is on the organization. There were people that wanted us to just focus on Cameroon. And when we did not start talking about political things, they went and formed Cameroon Online. That is typical of our people. So we need to start by liking each other. The Indians, they help each other. The Vietnamese, they help each other. All these people, they help each other. Our people don't. And at this point, we cannot keep blaming the Berlin Conference or blaming the white people. We have been enlightened. We've been woken up. It's time for us to start working together and stop blaming other people. That's why at Africa's Brain Bank, we don't seek help from anybody who's not of African descent. Nobody. And just for the record, we do have light-skinned people in North Africa. So not all Africans are black. But I want to calm down here, because if I get angry, I'm going to go into a lot of stuff which I don't want to do, and I'm going to call some names. So the Lord is just reminding me that I'm a reverend. I need to be nice. So Sister Sylvia, let's give Sister Judith a chance to speak. Dr. Nkemleke, Judith Board is on. Over to you, Sister Sylvia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your sentiments, ladies. Indeed, these are trying times that we're going through. And just to echo the racism in the churches, I experienced it myself just before COVID. I'm in Texas right now, a place called Belton, which is about 40 minutes from Fort Hood, the military base here. I went to the library one day because something happened to my laptop and I couldn't, get onto it. I had some work I had to, to submit. And then while I was in the library, I met two white ladies, and they heard me on the phone talking, and then they came and asked me what my name was, and I introduced myself. Then she says to me, "You have an accent." I said, "Yes, I do. I am from Africa." Then she looks at me and she says, "You're very beautiful for an African woman." I tell you, I took offense. I was very upset with them. I
What?
lost it. So then, oh yes, I had it out. They had to throw us out of, excuse me, out of the library. So I said, "Wait a minute. What does an African look like?"
Beautiful,
Well,
black and
you know,
beautiful.
I said, the big nose, the thick lips, and whatever, big earrings and big forehead and big eyes popping out like a monkey, right? She just looked down and she said, "No." That's when I said to the other one, I said, "You know what? What church do you go to?" I needed to diffuse the situation because I was about to reach out and touch someone that day. So then she says, she told me the church, whatever, whatever. I said, "Where's it located?" Then she told me, I said, "Oh, that's very close to where we live." You know what the racist one said to me? She says, "But it's all white. I don't know if she'll be welcome in our church."
Mhm.
This
What?
is today, and she's telling me it's a 5,000 seater church.
Mhm.
Today, Texas.
There goes your church.
Now,
Forget about church. Forget about church people. They are
I
dangerous.
just I just wanted to qualify that because it happened to me in March just before COVID hit. So,
Uh-huh.
but anyway, I'm to welcome
That's
our
why
two
I'm
guests.
saying, ladies, we have
Dr.
to
Stella,
step
let
up.
Judy talk. Dr. Stella,
Hold on a second, Dr. Steph. Let me give the other people an opportunity to speak, then I'll revert back to you, Dr. And
yeah, Judy.
Judith, welcome. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to see you. I see you define yourself over there. You're already very beautiful. Okay, so stop all that trying to do it. You already did it. Okay, God did it for you. You're already very beautiful.
The hair is going all
But
over the
welcome to the
place.
show. And yes, well, our can you just weigh in on the topic? I'm not sure if you know the topic, but we're talking about racism here. And I had our sister Evelyn, who surprised us from Sierra Leone, from Freetown. She's still on the line right now. Yeah, as well as Dr. Stella, she's online, and of course Reverend Pam have spoken. They've given us their views. So at this point, I'd like to also give you a chance to speak, and then thereafter I'll revert to Dr. Gobi.
Okay, thank you. It's my first time joining, and thanks to Dr. Gaby, he's the one who allowed me to join. So, my thoughts on racism are absolutely not what the regular person thinks. Mine is a pure economic and a capitalistic problem that we have. And if it actually dates back a lot further than what we think, way past the 400 years in 1671, when the British dissidents were over here with the regular whites, there was nothing called racism. They all were recalcitrants working on farms because at the time they had to work on cigarette farms, which are very labor consuming. So, what ended up happening is when the markets dropped in the farms and they couldn't get land, they ended up figuring out that the whites who had some privilege ended up realizing they may not have as much property if all these intermarriages between English people, blacks, and all of that happened. There's a whole long history behind that. So, what they decided to come up with at that time is in New York, there was a law that said you have to divide and conquer. So, they put out laws that actually said a black person, somebody who's black, African descent, cannot get married to any white woman anymore because there were lots of them getting married to English women. They also said only the white men, non-coloreds, could get married to white women and any other women they wanted. So that's where the thing really, really started, well before they even went to Africa and started fooling us with mirrors. And that is the same thing that has been used till today. But the thing about it is everybody distracts us from thinking that is an economic and an elite problem. They want us to hate each other based on the color of our skin. They want you to segregate. If they put out a law that says only whites can do so, so, and so, it's not because they are worried about your skin. It's because they want to make sure that there's no revolution like it happened back then. Because if people unite, then they're going to defeat them. So you
Mm-hmm.
got to think about the energy, the stamina that the black person has. One of the things that we have as a threat as Africans to the rest of the world is our stature. If you look at our statue, it doesn't matter, go across the continent, we're very well built to handle both manual labor and anything that's possible. So imagine if we took over the world, what is going to happen? Everybody else will have nothing. So we're a threat no matter what we do. So we have to stop thinking like them, and we have to start figuring out ways we can build ourselves. And when I say build ourselves, I mean we have to go out of our way to encourage each other's businesses, to give critiques on how we can be best and excellent at everything we do. As Ma Pam pointed out, our big issues now in the world are not because of the racism itself, it's because of greed, envy, and poverty mindsets. Those three things will keep us down forever. Once you've driven a car, once you've worn the very good clothes, and once you've had the education and you're the doctor, what else is there to life? We have to start determining what our purpose is. We have to start figuring out what our why is on this earth, and we have to start giving back to community. And that means if you see your Black person in business doing something that's not right, we owe it to ourselves and that person to provide them feedback to say, you know what, this thing you're doing, can we do it this way? This is how I feel about it, in constructive ways. But we spend more time trying to show off because we're all from a poverty mindset. We want to show off the things we've newly acquired, which is things that the white people used to have before. Now we have it. So we want to show off to whom? Our own fellow brothers and sisters, because we can't show off to the white people because they have no regard for us. So my thoughts on all of this is, if we tweak our minds to say, racism as it stands today does not exist for me. How can I build and grow myself and my community? How can I fight those obstacles that impede me from being the better self that I am? Instead of fighting because I'm white or because you're Black. No. How can I achieve? Because when you have that wealth in your community, they'll listen to you. But when we don't have the wealth, we cannot educate our kids properly. We cannot teach them about their own history and their own pride. We cannot give what we don't have. So let's start self-loving, self-educating, changing our mindset, changing our families' mindsets, encouraging each other's businesses. One of the things I've done today is I spent the entire day today looking for all Black platforms that I can think of that would benefit us. I am sending out the Umo Zinga. It's and I'll send it out to the forum, whomever. I don't have your emails. It's called Umo Zinga. You download the app. It's an African web meeting. So instead of using Zoom, try out Umo Zinga. Very clear, very effective, very everything. The other thing I did is also I attended Gaby's call earlier today. It was a live call, and his host, his talk show partner, I think Dr. Divine, what was his name? Dr. Langmia.
Yes.
Langmia, yes. He was talking about a channel in in Florida, an African channel that many Africans probably don't know of. So I made it a point to make sure I go look for I knew the channel, I've watched it before. So I made it a point to go and look for the channel, actually call the people whom I know worked there and say, what is the exact channel website name? Are you on Facebook? Are you on all of these channels? They provided it to me. I put it on there so that his viewers can see that. When we start lifting each other up and promoting each other, this is the only way we're going to make it, because we spend a lot of time talking about all these race relations which don't move us any forward. So I'm into action. If we do the things that we need to do, we take action on them. Same way you need to work on your body, same way you need to work on your business, same way you need to put in time and money into the things that are important to you. We need to prioritize our wealth, our community, and forget what anybody else thinks. When we're on top, we can come back and figure out what they're saying about us. Thank you for having me
much.
today.
That's a very good. That's a very good.
We have 2 minutes to the top of the hour.
Excellent.
Sylvia.
All right, we're at the top of the hour right now. Let me have Reverend Pam bring in a few of some more, maybe some important announcements now. Then after that, go to Dr. Gobi. Gabriel,
not Gobi.
Oh,
Don't see.
Gabriel. All right,
Dr.
Dr.
Don't see him when me as something to you, changing your name to Stella. And we also have Reverend Solange on also. Okay, before I have a couple of minutes, Marjorie, thank you so much for your input. And you were at our launch. I want to see your face. You were at our launch, and everything you're saying, that is why we are building a brain bank, Africa's brain bank. where you go and find all these people. So all those people you are getting, you need to bring them to the brain bank. So everybody can go there, and we'll put them on our website. So everybody can go there and see. That's the thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody's making money off of it. It's for your benefit. I am a full-time volunteer, just like all of us on Africa Online. We are full-time volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. And I'm glad Nkemleke is on this show, because he was actually the visionary for this show, Dr. Nkemleke Jinibot. He is the reason why, the visionary for the show, not Africa Online Media Corporation, but this particular show. And he's the unsung hero. Nobody talks about that, but he was the visionary for this show. And I'm going to put him on the spot because he needs to be on this show.
Okay.
Every time. His name is actually on Africa Online. So, but anyway, thank you for that vision. So next week, we're going to be talking. I am so excited about this topic we're going to be having next week. Starting tomorrow, we are going to be talking, let me see. Did I spotlight? Hold on a second. What happened here? Hold on, Nkemleke. It looks like I accidentally spotlighted you. Just give me 1 second. So starting tomorrow, we're going to be talking about, you guys give me a second. Let me, I don't know what happened. Anyway, that's fine. Let me get back to where. Nkemleke, for some reason, I spotlighted you. Let me see. Okay, well, I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna change it. But anyway, so next week, starting next week, we're gonna be talking about the death of the French CFA in some of the ECOWAS countries in West Africa, the birth of the ECO, and the implication for the Continental Free Trade Area, and the impact of the pandemic on the Continental Free Trade Area. And guess who our guest is going to be? I'm so excited because this is a sister of mine. I love her so much. You know, I did not know of her prior to September of 2018. I had not heard of her. A lot of us had not heard of her, but I came across her and I invited her to be our keynote speaker at our inaugural event. Last year, Nkemleke, you were there. Marjorie, you were there. By that time, I had not met Sister Sylvia, even though I met her shortly after that at the AU, you know. So our guest is going to be Dr. Arikana Chiomboriko. That's my beloved sister. She's going to be our guest on this show next Sunday. So I'm really, really excited. Let's continue to keep Nia Song in prayers. You know, our primary anchor for this show. Most of you heard last week when he announced. See, when you see people volunteering their time, you don't know what they're going through. This guy is so faithful. He's our chief executive editor. His wife was in the hospital for 6 weeks. And he never missed a show, except that one show that the wife got rushed to the hospital 10 minutes before airtime. But he's been faithfully coming, you know, and we miss him today because he has to assist. But he's the backbone of this show. So we do have a book called Africa's Brain Power, which is the editorials of this show from March 2016 to December 2017. It's on Amazon. It's $19.99. It's a good gift anytime. But I would like also we're going to be doing a fundraiser for Africa Online. But we're going to talk about this next week. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. But we're going to, because we have not really done fundraising, and we have a lot of projects that we need to do. We tried to do some on the forum. We got $50. That's our brothers and sisters for you. You know, but anyway, so we're going to be talking about that more. It's coming up, and please come and help us. Come and be part of it. We are getting Africans Online, and this is Africa Online Media Corporation. It is a corporation. The show is one aspect of it. There are other arms of it. The WhatsApp group is a small part of it, but it's an entire corporation. But let me bring our brother, Dr. Nkemleke Jinibot. Let me unmute him. Dr. Nkemleke, the airways are yours. Please unmute yourself. Okay.
Everybody hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
So, Mapam, thanks so much for inviting me to the call. Yes, I was one of the people who thought about this program, and unfortunately, I got sidetracked by so many other things. But Yes, I am back, and I will be participating all the time whenever you give me that call.
You are a director. You are a director in the company. They need to know you. Look, Sister Sylvia is our president, and this is the first time she's meeting you. Sister
Yes.
Sylvia, look, this is the guy that had this idea for this show. Sister Sylvia, take a picture of him.
You're late. I already took the picture. You're late.
Good. All right. Okay.
So real quick, I want to just agree with what Ma Judith and everybody else has already talked about without belaboring that point. It's very essential that we talk about this issue. It's important because if you look at every job application or loan application or mortgage application, there's always this question of what race are you? So it's a central topic or point in every fabric of this country. And as much as some folks want us to shy away from it without talking about it because of its sensitivity, we have to talk about it just so that we can educate ourselves and educate everybody else. Interestingly, 2 years ago, I published my very first book, and there is a whole top chapter in it that talks about race. Race the way I saw it and race the way it is actually. And I've written 2 subsequent books following that. And the most recent one is this one and the title of it is that be your last line of defense and your naysayer's greatest surprise. And I think at moments like this is when we have to band together and surprise those who thought that we couldn't do it.
Yes.
Every time, like Marjorie said, in terms of businesses, in terms of our community, in terms of everything else, we need to band together and support each other because this is the only way we can make it. I don't know if anybody has read or I'm sure you've heard about this book, The White Fragility, Why White People Don't Want to Talk About Racism. I encourage everybody to read that book because it teaches a lot, not just for the people of color, but for even people who are not Black. So everybody should try and read that book. I think everybody is reading it now. It teaches us a lot. So without going too much into what everybody has said, all the points were great points. We really need to educate ourselves and never, ever, ever give up on anything we were trying to do. And most importantly, educate the young generation and teach them that they are not inferior as that stereotypical, everybody is very stereotypical about the fact that, oh, when you're Black, it means bad. Or if you're Black, it means inferior. Or if you're Black, it means that you're not important. So I teach my children that, and I'm hoping that everybody is doing the same. That way, when they grow and so that the next generation of presidents, secretaries of states, governors, congressmen, Senate people, they should understand that it's not just white that is best. So thanks so much for letting me talk. And I look forward to taking part in every Africa Online call or program or policy, or whatever it is, I will be there. So thank you so much.
I'm holding you to that. I don't think I'm going to let you off the hook that easy. I will hold you to that. I will call you 10 minutes before every show. If I don't see you online, I will hound you until you get on. So,
Sister Sylvia, 1 second. I sent you a text. You didn't get it. Once I forgot something.
No, I did.
By the way, Nigga, we don't play with Sister Sylvia. She's from Zambia. The Zambian women don't play. And she's our president now. She's president of Africa Online Media Corporation. I wanted Nigebi, I will need you to tell us how to get your book. But before you say that, Sister Sylvia or Madam President, he used to be the one streaming the show. Well, it was not video then; it was just audio. But he was doing it on Facebook. We didn't have Zoom. We're not using Zoom then. He was doing it, and because he abandoned it, and then the next person that can abandon it, I've been stuck doing this. I'm not an IT person. That I've been zooming and streaming on Facebook every Sunday. So I am pleading to everybody under the sound of my voice, all 3,000 plus people on Facebook, plus the other ones that are going to watch this show, remind Nikebi that we need help. And I'm glad he made it here. He started this. So he's
well, I think he can help you. He can help you out.
Yeah,
I think he can help you out.
No, he's not helping me. It's all of us. It's ourselves. So, Nigga, tell us briefly about how to get your books, and then we need to get to Sister Solange and Sister Sylvia. Nigga, please tell us how to get.
So primarily it's on Amazon, and it's going to be going on Kindle in the next week. So if you go to Amazon and just look for my name, all the 3 books will come out. So and you can get it from there.
Okay, please text me the link so that I can share it on the forum.
I will.
All right, Sister Sylvia, Sister Solange, where is she?
Thank you very much. Sister Solange, are you online? I know somebody left under the name Miracle. Was that her?
Okay, maybe she had, Zoom keeps dropping calls. Oh, okay.
Sister Solange, are you online?
No, I think that was her. She'll probably come back.
Okay.
All right.
But anyway, needless to say, thank you so much, Doctor, for your insight, your input. And like I said, I'm holding you to your word. I am a woman who acts like a gnat. You know what a gnat is? You keep sweating it. It's coming back. You keep sweating. That's how I am. Reverend Pam can tell you that when I need a job done, I will hound you until our job is done. But I believe you will hold up to your word. I think Dr. Oh, wait a minute, I think it was Evelyn. Evelyn, did you want to make a comment? I heard somebody's voice. I can't remember who it was.
That was
Is
Dr.
it Evelyn?
Stella, then Evelyn. That was Dr.
Oh,
Stella.
Dr. Stella.
It was Stella.
All right, Dr. Stella, are you there? I don't see your beautiful face.
She's muted. She's muted. Wait. Okay, she's
Unmute
driving.
yourself.
Go ahead. Yeah, she's driving.
No,
Okay,
I'm not driving.
all right.
I'm parking. I came out of the church and I'm just parked in front of the church. I've not left.
Oh, you're in the car. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please, Doctor.
I was like,
you want to say something?
Hey, Judith. I don't think she remembers me. Judith
Okay.
Frank. Hello,
But
Judith.
go ahead. Yeah.
I've seen her a long time. Anyway, listen. One of the things that I think it's important in the like it's good to. Okay, I'm a physician and I've taught my children like this book I read by Robert Kawasaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm a physician. I've taught my children, to grow up and be.
Yeah, I've read it too.
Right. But sometimes when we want to deal with the Black American issue, when you see people, I did not even understand this because you see, when I came to America, I lived in Louisiana. There were no immigrants. I actually lived among Americans and among Black Americans, and I lived there for like 18 years, taking care of Medicaid patients and taking care of something. So it gave me a real deep insight into the psyche that it takes for somebody to get off and look at it like, what, I can be all that I can be. It takes a lot. I know there are a lot of children. Since I ran my pediatric clinic there for about 18 years, so I had children that came when they were young, and I encouraged them to go to school instead of getting pregnant. Go to school, do this for yourself, and I had them come back with their children after trade school or after coming out. They'll come back and with their own children, married, and they'll be like, "Oh, Dr. Stella has achieved something." A lot of these people, a lot of our people in this country, a lot of our young youth, a lot of our children, a lot of our mothers, African mothers, African American, they don't have. It takes a lot for you to come out of a mound that have taught you to be down. It takes a lot for you to even think that you can look up. Sometimes people have called you a certain way, spoke to you a certain way for so long, and you believe it. And then there are many of these children that don't have anybody in their life that is even made it. That don't have anybody in their life that came out of school, that went to college, or that has a good job. You see these children and they come to you. I said, "What do you want to do?" "I want to be a hairdresser." I said, "Why do you want to be a hairdresser?" "Oh, I like hair." I was like, "You're making straight A's in school. Why do you want to do hair? Why don't you go to school, become a nurse, open your own hairdressing salon on the side?" You understand? So these people, they need more than just, "We're gonna get up and rise." Then the second thing about it is that there have to be legislation put down to correct some of the wrongs that have been done in the African American community. Legislation. What I mean by legislation is that there have to be programs that say, "You know what? We're going to change the fact that if you're on welfare, you can get off welfare and become somebody." There have to be legislation and programs that say that, okay, that, "You know what? We're going to start." They have to pour money back into our communities and bring them to, okay, you can go to school, come out of high school and learn a trade. And being part of a trade, they start training you in that trade in your last year in high school. This actually works for all Americans, but I'm concerned about the African American community. So there have to be things that will be done in our communities that have to be done by a governmental entity, that have to be done legislatively to change some things, to be able to give us the chance for most of our people to rise. It cannot be done by us just going into our communities and trying to get it done or teaching our children, because there are some things that have been ingrained in it that have. So my thing is that all the white people that are kneeling down, and I'm like I say, I'm not really a race baiter. All the white people that are kneeling down and say, okay, we're going to change. These are the things that we have to sit down and have a discussion on. We have to get back into town hall meetings and say, okay, what are the things that have changed African American communities? What are the things that have resulted in some of the things that are happening in African American communities? Why are the inner cities so tore up? Go back and fix these things and put legislation down and provide governmental income, governmental resources to change some of these things. Go back and encourage our Black people to have their businesses in their different communities. Like right now, you go to many African American communities, gas stations are all owned by Iranians. The African Americans are there, but they don't own the businesses in their communities. Go back and encourage these people and put legislation that say, okay, to help these communities come up and rise. So that's my also, you know something. So yes, like you said, Sister Frank said, this is about economics. If the American person rises, if the African American person rises and become economically independent, all this nonsense is going to happen. Some of the things that our youths are doing is because they are idle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we can give our children, give our people the resources backed by the government, backed by legislation, these are the things we should discuss in these town hall meetings and make sure that we fix this racism thing, not just on an outside, oh, I'm sorry, oh, we're going to feel better about it. White guilt doesn't help me in any way if this are not legislation is not put together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's what I think we need to do. We need to start bringing up this conversation. Okay, great, you feel bad. What are you going to do about you feeling bad? What can we do to get our communities back? Now, we as African Americans, yes, we're ready to build our communities, but what can you do to aid this movement to build our communities so that we don't tear it down? You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I think we should push for in our communities.
You're very right.
That's my second sense.
Yes, thank you. That also brings me to a comment that I think I should have even mentioned earlier, just in support of what Reverend Pam said when you were talking about the crab mentality, the pull down mentality, where it's always got to be me, 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 me. We have some ladies right now who are running for office, and one comes to mind from Colorado. She's from Liberia. She has been struggling to raise money. Every person she calls, everybody's telling her, well, I can't give you money because blah, blah, blah. You know how we are. But here she is, she has to raise this money before the 30th of June so that she can do her last mailers. But yet the people she calls friends, quote unquote, none of them are coming through for her. So this is a very sad state of affair that we're in as Blacks. Like you said, the Jews help themselves, the Indians help themselves, the Chinese, the Japanese mention them. But why is it that us Blacks are so negative and apathetic towards one another's progress? The Bible teaches us, like Reverend Pam always likes to allude to love one another like Christ loved the church. If we don't love us, who's going to love us? Look at the way they treat us, because they know we don't love us in the first place. How can you be loved by others when you among yourselves, us among ourselves, don't even love ourselves? We always want to pull each other down. We talk about this corporation, our corporation, how one of the people, the founders, took off and went and created a sister company or a replica, kind of a replica company. I mean, what is that achieving? You're dividing people, you're dividing all of us, and that's not the purpose of this thing. The purpose of this thing is to amalgamate the Africans into one place. Let's all speak together. Let's all sit in one area. Let's exchange ideas. This is called a brain bank for a reason.
Yes.
The brain bank means bring back those brains where they need to be in one area so that we act as a resource. Yeah. When somebody has a certain question, somebody has a certain concern, somebody has a certain issue or a problem, why can't we as Blacks or quote unquote Africans come together and say, let's help Sister Sylvia out. Her daughter is going to college right now. She can't pay the rest of the $5,000. Can we each donate $500 towards it? The first thing they'll say is, no, we can't do that. That's her daughter. When she graduates, she's the only beneficiary anyway. No, that's not true. Because when my daughter graduates, guess what? She may be a doctor. She may be a cop. She may be a this. And who's the beneficiary? Is it me alone? No, it's the nation that will benefit. So we need to get out of that mindset of always it being me. It's true, you have to take care of your family first. Of course, that's number one. Once family is taken care of and home is happy, everything else falls into place. But as a people of color, let's start learning and learning to love one another and appreciating one another and supporting one another. We have so many different organizations. Let me use the word African organizations in the United States. That if we had to all come together and say, let's just make two, each one choose which one you want to go under, guess how powerful we would be as the Black people. When I say African, I mean anybody who's got this melanin color, people of African descent, African Americans, whatever, Americans, Caribbean, and so forth. I'm not just talking about us as African. So my people, to give you each a minute to 2 minutes each to go through your last words, and I'll start with Dr. Gabby since he was my last speaker. Please, if you have any words, closing words out, please go ahead and say whatever you have to say, and then I'll go to, I'm sorry, Judith, and then from Judith I'll go to Evelyn, and from Evelyn I'll go to Doctor, and from Doctor then I'll go to Pam.
So real quick, last
go ahead,
word.
please, Doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Educate ourselves. Let us band together, and like Dr. Stella said, don't just vote, run for office so you can win and be part of legislation that can change the culture.
Thank you. All right, Judith.
So I'm with the Gaby.
Judith, we can't see your chin. Can you sit up a little bit? We're seeing.
Yeah, much better.
You're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
So actively work towards uniting us as Africans on all the different fora. No need to put information, always tell another group of which other group is already doing what they're doing, so we can try to consolidate our efforts, promote each other's businesses, and educate ourselves and have a winning mindset. Just positivity towards each other.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Beautifully said. Sister Evelyn, you still online? You still awake?
Yes.
Yes, I'm still awake. Thank you.
Your last words.
African Americans need to build a strong community, a strong African American community, and be united. And as many of us have said, we need to be in the leadership where decisions are made, and also have a strong economy. Those things matter. But also within the family, we need to start changing the mindsets of our kids. Family had an effect and impact in the lives of Africans. We're so divided. Can we begin to change our children so that generations after us, it might be too late for us, but I think we have the opportunity now to begin to talk to our children. Thank you.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Dr.
Stella.
My namesake.
Yeah, no. Anyway, the last words I will say is that we need to peacefully protest. That's our fundamental right. But we need to start conversation, get into town halls, start conversation. And the last part about it is that we need to pray, because only God can change the heart of. Only God can change our heart and can heal us, heal our land, and get us to be able to. You can't legislate love. You can't legislate care. Only God can change the heart of man. So we need to, in everything that we're doing, especially as African Americans, the African Americans were always the people that, like I said, the Black church was very good to pull up the soul of America. We need to get back to praying again, talking, having conversation, and demanding that things be done in order. Do you understand what I'm saying? Demanding from our legislatures, demanding from our politicians that they need to earn our vote. If we're gonna vote for you, if we're gonna put you in office, you need to tell us what you're gonna do, and we hold you accountable to make sure it's done. They should not take us for granted anymore. Thank you.
That's very true. Thank you, Reverend Pam.
Yeah, I am.
Did Solange come back?
No.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody. And Marjorie, I sent you a link to join Africa Online. I can't believe you've not been on there. But I invite some other people. Africa Online is for Africa, the entire 55 countries. And this is what we've been doing on this show for 4 years. Raising awareness about issues that affect Africans and Africa, seeking solutions to those issues and make progress. That's Africa Online. Our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, is bringing all the brains into one bank, so we can provide the competency to everything you need. You come there. It's a bank. It has nothing to do with commercial bank. It's not a commercial bank. You will not believe how many people have reached out to us. And one thing, Sister Sylvia, I want to mention something. We don't need to even donate money for somebody's child to go to school. We can contribute money and lend it to them. There are Indians, Vietnamese doctors that come out of school debt-free. Why? Because their organization, their community put money together and sponsor them. And then when they come out, that community supports them. They don't go, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, you will not see an African working there. You will not see a white person working there. It's only Chinese people. So they have that sense of community. We have 6 minutes, that's why I'm saying this. But, and even when they graduate from medical school, they put money together to give them to open a, so they are enabling them, you know, they are enabling them. Okay, a lot of our people cannot get loans. Even when there's a disaster, I lost my home in Hurricane Harvey. FEMA came, they looked at the house, they said, oh, it was habitable. They thought probably maybe I had a tree of money in my backyard. They had no clue, you know. So what I'm saying is that our people don't get the help, whether we are victims of disasters or not, we don't get the help. How many of us can go to a bank and get a loan? Let's support our black banks. Let's support our banks. We have, look, it'll be difficult for an African, you can understand me. You know, we are emotionally connected. Let's start by with the mind, by changing the mindsets. And there are two scriptures I'm going to leave everybody with. One is Proverbs 22:6. Start with your children at home. Tell them that they don't have to feel elevated because they have a white friend. No, make friends with everybody, but being associated with a white man should not make you feel better. That's all the brainwash, the slave mentality that started all the way back from slavery. It needs to stop from there. You know, let's not badmouth our people. Somebody said if you want to kill a black person, if a white man wants to kill a black person, get another black person to do it. Who killed Martin Luther King? Who killed Malcolm X? It's our own people that would open the door for the devil to come in. We have Judas just in our community. Again, we need to start from somewhere, and that's what this show is all about. Let's start by exposing this and then looking for those solutions. Like my Judith said, yeah, look at, without this program today, Nkemleke would not have said what he said, and I'm glad because he's at the foundation of this show. That's the truth. You know, we get busy with other things, but so many lives have been changed. It's just that we don't have enough volunteers to keep track of all these testimonies. This show has transformed lives. There are people that they copy what we do in the show, and we're not complaining. Please, by all means, copy it, because you reach other audiences that we cannot reach. But we don't discuss religion or politics on this show, and we will never do it. Sister Sylvia, we still have 4 minutes, but again, I want to encourage everybody. Next week, we're going to have Her Excellency, Dr. Arikana, on this show. And believe me, it's a must watch and a must attend. I'm not going to add her to the forum because I don't want her getting 1 million text messages from people every day. So I will not add her to the forum, but she's going to be on this show live. So we need all of you, Dr. Gaby, Judith, you guys, Dr. Stella, Amy, you guys weigh in on this, the death of the CFA France, the death of the ECHO, and the Continental Free Trade Area. Look, what happened to our brother, and I want to take this moment to extend our condolences to the Floyd family. Believe me, we are all weeping, but we are praying. The last thing I'm going to say, Sister Sylvia, you have two minutes to round up, is 2 Chronicles 7:14. It says, if my people, if black people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek his face and turn from our wicked ways. We all have some wickednesses, just like other people. He said, I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. Prayer is the key. Prayer will move mountains. So let's use this opportunity now to come together and on this show, please attend, because we're going to be announcing some major things coming up with the brain bank. We are doing some work with no, let me not say it. It's one of the I will say it. We are doing some work with okay. I should not say it. So I'll wait. I'm so excited. But one of the pioneer black-owned record companies in this country. You can go look at history or whatever. But we're doing so we're doing some major things. So you want to be part of it, and you want to get all your organization to be part of it. The brain bank again is a repository. We're not going to steal anybody. We don't want access to your.
Well, thank you.
To your people. We just want you to be part of it, Sister Sylvia. Sister Sylvia.
Thank you so very much. I want to thank everybody for coming on the show today. It's been really enlightening. It's been exhilarating. And Sister Evelyn, thank you so much for this shocker of an appearance that you made to our two sisters who did not know how to behave after they saw you.
I know.
But I'm sure after this video call, you all can get together and catch up and know who's who and who's doing what. So in a nutshell, I just want to surmise by saying that Dr. Stella is absolutely right. This needs to be legislated. Yeah. Because if we're going to make any changes, it starts from the grassroots. It starts from there. We can't start from the top going down. We have to start from the root going upward. Just like when a tree is growing, it first of all plants its roots, makes a very solid foundation for itself. Then it grows the trunk, then the branches, then the leaves. So we need all these technical colleges that she's talking about, and it's a brilliant idea. I even forgot that those things existed, but they were there when we were growing up. And for sure, this would be an out for most of our children who don't have jobs right now, because if they can learn a trade, they can learn how to sew, how to do carpentry, how to do metallurgy and all that stuff. What you call this, gemstone, how you call it, faceting and all that stuff. That's all work, all jobs, yes, that can be done. So in a nutshell, yes, we need to start from somewhere. And again, I'm going to reiterate and repeat that we need to support our Black brothers and sisters that want to stand for the House, for the political running. We need to back them up. Even if you give somebody $10, it goes a long way. If 10 of us right now give $10, how much do we get? At least that's $100, right? That's $100. You can do 100 mailers to so many people out there. So my brothers and sisters, let's learn to love one another, support and pray for each other. It reminds me of a saying where one devil says to the Lord, Lord, you see, I shut down all your churches. You see, and right now nobody's attending all those churches. The buildings are shut down. The Lord says, no, the churches have not shut down. Yeah. In fact, the churches have grown because I'm in every home.
That's right.
That's where I need to be. So may God bless each and every one of us, because God is in every home right now. And Doctor, I'm not letting you off. Don't think when you get off this phone, I'm letting you off. Dr. Gabby, I want to you again. I'm on top of you. Faith, you're my witness, right?
Actually, he's on the management forum. He's on the management forum.
Yes, Dr. Stella, Sister Evelyn, Dr. Stella, and Dr. Gabby, as well as Dr. Pam. Thank you so very much for coming on the show, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Let's look forward to Dr. Arikana coming on.
Yeah, she'll be here. Thank you. Love you all.
Yep. Okay. Bye.